All right. Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to Joachim Odell, who pushing his word with our truth and sincerity, and as well as to you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And this is brother Quara Abad from the GMS Houston camp. And real briefly, I want to go into a lesson. And as you see from the title, it says, knowing the will of the Lord will keep you stable during adversity, right? Knowing the will of the Lord will keep you stable during adversity. Now, where I get the inspiration to do this lesson from, as I mentioned on the previous lesson, hey, Shalom, brother, the brother Yahweh, the Yahweh Bashim El Shah Barakatah, and Barakatham to whoever may tune in. But where I get the inspiration to do this lesson, a couple hours ago, or last night, I was reading the book of Exodus. I was up to probably like probably four reading, but I was reading the book of Exodus, and I came across Exodus the 14th chapter, right? The 14th chapter, and this after we was taken out of Egypt. We held the Passover already. Now the Lord is lacing Moses up on the things that's going to need to be done from here on out until we enter or as we go into the promised land. Now, just like at the beginning when Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh, all those plagues that happened, before they happened, the Lord told Moses and Aaron exactly what they was going to do when they approached Pharaoh every single time. He told them. He even told them, look, Pharaoh not going to let y'all go. The point is, all those events that Moses and Aaron was doing, all those miracles that they were showing, right? The Lord told them those things ahead of time. So that brings us to Exodus, the 14th chapter, when we already escaped, or should I say, now we're about to walk. We left out of Egypt, but now Pharaoh is about to chase us down, him and his army. And now we caught between the water, on our back is the water, and in front of us is Pharaoh and his army coming. So that's where we at right here. Now, the point why I said all that is to get to this point, because as we all know, Moses, the last thing that this man did to lead us up out of Egypt and escape from, or should I say, the last thing that the Lord set him up to do, which it was Yahweh Bashim Shah who ultimately did it. But the Lord had Moses put his staff out towards the sea, and the sea opened. The sea split. As we know, we walked through the, they says the Red Sea, but it's the Gulf of Suez. Nevertheless, that was the last thing that Moses truly did against the Egyptians. But when you go, in which the Lord did it, right? But when you go into that, I want to read, and that's why I got this title from, right? It says, knowing the will of the Lord will keep you stable during adversity. Just wanted to give some background, because we're coming into the times to where a lot of people go be caught off guard on what's about to happen. And why I say that, because these Israelites, remember, they had a problem with Moses and Aaron once upon a time when Pharaoh made the Israelites work harder. But then think about the night of the Passover when Pharaoh let us go. They was all happy to come out, cheering, like it's going to say that we walked out with a high hand. Everybody was excited, right? But when they seen Pharaoh coming, they started talking shit to Moses again. Man, Moses, I knew you brought us out here to die. They lost faith that quick. Imagine they came out excited, but as soon as they seen Pharaoh in the army, they lost faith. They wanted to go back. They just wanted to die and go back to being a slave. They gave up that quick. You know why? Because they didn't know the will of the Lord. They didn't know what to expect next. The Lord didn't tell them what was about to happen. But when we read this Exodus, the 14th chapter, one man who wasn't shook up, although he seen, Pharaoh and his army and the dust kicking up from the horses and chariots, Moses wasn't shook about none of that. And as we're going to read, why? Because the Lord, just like all the other plagues, the Lord told Moses, look, Pharaoh about to come. He feel played that y'all left. But don't worry about it, because as we're going to read it, the Lord told Moses in detail. So when it happened, he wasn't tripping. Getting to us today, we know the plans of the Lord, man. We know what to expect, what's about to happen. So when hard times come, Jacob's trouble come, we shouldn't be shaken up or fearing like these people and give up. You see, but let's get into it. And Shalom Tala Akim Akwa through tuning in. Yahweh Shemel Shabrakatham. I just wanted to give some background on, the purpose of this lesson. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this Exodus, the 14th chapter, and we're going to read most likely the whole thing, and we're going to get this in a GNT, right? Exodus 14 and verse 1 in a GNT. Now check this out. It says, then the Lord said to Moses, that's already the point. The Lord telling Moses all this before it happened. So Moses knew. Moses knew that Pharaoh was coming, but he knew they wouldn't go get him. Exodus 14 and 1 in the GNT. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites to turn back and camp in front of Pi Hahiroth or Pi Hahiroth between Migdal and the sea and the Red Sea near Baal Zephon, right? And the king, let me show y'all this because I was just looking at all this. So let me show y'all where it was encamped at, right? Let me look at my notes. Let's see. Migdal, just to, Migdal, just to, I don't know if I spelled that right. So check this out. This is where we was, right? This is where we was. Just so brothers and, Aqua can have a visual of what we reading and where we was. So remember, this was, see at the top in Goshen right here, this is where we was in Egypt. And then once we left the night of the Passover, we made our way over here to Succoth, right here, which means booths. And then we made our way down to Etham, over here at the bottom, then Migdal, and we encamped right here between Migdal, Etham, and Hahiroth, right? So we right here. This is where the Israelites was, if y'all can see. This is where we was, and we seen Pharaoh on me coming down like this, barreling down, right? Just to paint the picture. So let's go back. So that's why the Lord told him, wait right there. Now, mind you, as we waiting right here, we ain't got nowhere to go. Look, we right here at the bottom, if y'all can see my mouse. We right here, we ain't got nowhere to go. We stuck between water and wilderness, and Pharaoh and his army. And we ain't had no cars or nothing just to escape. We was on foot. So let's go back. Exodus 14 and 1 in the GNT, it says, then the Lord said to Moses, tell the Israelites to turn back and camp in front of Pi-hahiroth between Migdal and the Red Sea near Baal Zephon. And the king will think that the Israelites are wandering around in the country and are closed in by the desert. So the Lord telling Moses, look, Pharaoh go think y'all stuck. It says, the Lord telling Moses, and I will make him stubborn and he will pursue you. And my victory over the king and his army will bring me honor. Then the Egyptians will know that I'm Yahweh. And the Israelites did as they were told. So I mind you, Moses at this point in time, he know Pharaoh coming before everybody else seen it. Keep that in mind. He know it's about to happen. Just like we know Esau go coming like a flood before everybody else see it. We know what's happening, right? Right. Inside joke, it says, verse 5, when the king of Egypt was told that the people had escaped, he and his officials changed their minds. Now, mind you, didn't the Lord just tell Moses this? So now it's happening. It says he and his officials changed their minds and said, what have we done? We have let the Israelites escape and we have lost them as our slaves. The king got his war chariot and his army ready. He set out with all his chariots. And again, as we read this, not just only picturing this as it happened in Egypt, but also in spirit, consider and put ourselves in this situation with what we about to go through. Remember, Esau is coming down with great wrath. Since he know we about to escape and get out of captivity, he's about to come down with great wrath. So when things happen, when Esau come down with wrath quick like that, and a lot of Israelites see it, they're going to give up. They're going to lose faith. They're going to bow out. You know why? Because the Lord didn't tell them his war strategy. He didn't let them in on the secrets like he did Moses, or like he do with his servants, the prophets. So they ain't going to have that comfort or expectation But let's continue. This is Exodus 14 and 6 in the GNT. And the king, which is Pharaoh, got his war chariot and his army ready. And he set out with all his chariots, including the 600 finest commanded by their officers. So he came with a big army. It says, and the Lord made the king stubborn, and he pursued the Israelites who were leaving triumphantly. Now remember that, because it's going to show how quick a nigga can switch up. How quick, it's going to show how quick these Israelites switched up once they got scared. Because it says we left out triumphantly. Let's see what that word means. I should have gotten a blue letter. It says triumphantly, in a way that shows great happiness or joy at a victory or achievement. So Jake walked out excited. Let's see if that same excitement, that same confidence and happiness or trust in the Lord going to be there once they see the Egyptian army. It says, verse 8, the Lord made the king stubborn, and he pursued the Israelites who were leaving triumphantly. Verse 9, and the Egyptian army with all the chariots, with all the horses, chariots, and drivers pursued them and caught up with them where they were camped by the Red Sea near Pi-hahiroth and Baal-zephon. When the Israelites, now check this out, so they were just, celebrating triumphantly. Now it says, when the Israelites saw the king and his army marching against them, they were terrified and cried out to Yahweh for help. Now, mind you, it's not the crying out as if, a believer crying out. No, they complaining, they scared, they not trusting in the Lord. And this unfaithfulness in these people that continued in the wilderness, and that's why the Lord had to kill them, man. A lot of those adults, that's the point of Exodus. Not Exodus, but Deuteronomy. Moses had to give the law a second time because the first batch of Israelites, the adults who came out of Egypt, the Lord killed all them off. So the people right here who getting scared, them old Israelites who losing faith, the Lord eventually go kill these niggas anyway because they never had faith and they always complain. But you know why they always complain? Because they never understood the will of the Lord, man. That's a comfort. When you understand the will of the Lord, that even not just our good times, but even our misfortune is all ordained by the Lord, man, that brings a certain comfort to your spirit, especially if you're serving the Lord. Because one, you can't change the situation. It was written already. Now you're just willing to go through it. And again, Moses right here, just like us, he was told the will of the Lord. He was the only one who was stable in this situation because he got it. He knew what was about to happen. Let's read it. It says, now check this out. Watch this. They were just all excited because Moses led them out. But it says, when the Israelites saw the king and his army marching against them, they were terrified and cried out to the Lord for help. And they said to Moses, weren't there any graves in Egypt? Now, mind you, this is niggas and the northern kingdom right here. And our people. Think about the shit they was talking to Moses right here. So you don't think they had enough graves in Egypt? It says, did you have to bring us out here in the desert to die? Jake talking this shit right. See how quick they turned against Moses? Think about if the Lord would have let Pharaoh and his army get close, they would have probably gave Moses up. See, Pharaoh, we want to stay slaves. We like the melons and the leeks. It was Moses. He was the reason that all those plagues happened. We love you, Pharaoh. But see how quick they turned on Moses, the man who the Lord used to bring all these things about, to help your ass get out of captivity. But the point, you gonna do things like this when you don't know what's going on. You gonna fear. Let's read it. It says, and they said to Moses, weren't there any graves in Egypt? Did you have to bring us out here in the desert to die? Look what you have done by bringing us out of Egypt. They blame Moses for it. It says, didn't we tell you before we left that this would happen? Hey, see, come on, man. But see, Moses knew the Lord will, but they said, no, we told you this is going to happen. Well, the Lord told them too. The Lord told them it was going to happen. But see, they didn't know the results of this happening. Moses did. It says, we told you to leave us alone and let us go on being slaves of the Egyptians. They wanted to stay in Egypt. Just like niggas today want to stay being Americans. It says it would have been better to be slaves there than to die here in the desert. Ultimately, what they saying, it would have been better for us to stay in Egypt than to see all these. In other words, indirectly, what they were saying, it would have been better for us to stay slaves in Egypt than for the Lord to come get us, do all these plagues against the Egyptians, and to bring us out of here. They rather stay slaves in Egypt than the Lord to come have mercy on them and bring them out of captivity and bring them into a land that floweth with milk and honey, as it say. You know, they want to be slaves and die in Egypt. Now see how their reaction was. Now let's see the reaction of Moses. Let's see the reaction of Moses. I want to get this in the KJV too, because I think I like how it hit better than KJV, what Moses said. But let's see the reaction of Moses. Let's see the difference in the people reaction when they seen the army or Pharaoh's army coming in and how Moses reacted to it. Or when Pharaoh army came in. And mind you, remember the Lord told Moses at the beginning of the chapter that he was going to send Pharaoh and his army towards him, but that he was going to judge him. Let's see knowing the Lord will and not knowing the Lord will, the reaction. Now we got just how they bugged out. Let's get Moses' reaction. This Exodus 14 and verse 13 in the GNT. It says, and Moses answered. Now mind you, they're just trying to charge this man up. And you got to remember, this was a multitude of people. This was a lot of people. You don't think they was coming trying to brave up to Moses, right? Crowding around him. And you know Moses was humble, so he probably wasn't doing all that, right? But this is what he said in response to those people. So like, I'm getting excited. It says, Moses answered, don't be afraid. Stand your ground, and you will see what Yahweh will do to save you today. You will never see these Egyptians again. The Lord will fight for you, and all you have to do is keep still. He told them, man, chill y'all asses out. The Lord about to fight for y'all, and y'all scared. Come on, man. Y'all don't gotta do nothing, just wait. Let me read the KJV. Exodus 14 and 13, KJV. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show you today. This man was speaking in confidence. He gonna show y'all this. Y'all niggas chill out. It says, which he will show you today, for the Egyptians whom ye have seen today, you shall see them no more forever. This man wasn't speaking in fear. This man was speaking in confidence. I want to say it like he knew, but because he knew. Why? Because the Lord, Amos 3, the Lord revealed his secret unto his servant, the prophet. That's what's happening today. Brothers, Lord willing, we continue to stay stable as these things happen, that our spirit keep up with the times, or our faith keep up with the spirit of the times, right? The point is, we should be stable from here on out because we already know what's supposed to happen. These people don't. So just like Moses, in the times we coming in, we should be standing still and waiting to see what the Lord do or how he gonna save us out of situations, not panic. It says, Exodus 14 and 13. It says, and the Lord shall fight for you, look, and ye shall hold your peace, and y'all niggas gonna shut up. The Lord gonna do his thing, and y'all ain't gonna have nothing to say. Chill. Let's go back to the GNT. It says, verse 15, and the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out for help? Look, the Lord about to tell Moses, look, why you going back and forth with these niggas? Go take care of this real quick. You see? It says, the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out for help? Tell the people to move forward. Lift up your walking stick. And look, mind you, Moses being told all this before it happened. He knew the water was going to split before the water split. It says, the Lord said to Moses, and he knew Pharaoh was going to come before Pharaoh came. It says, the Lord said to Moses, why are you crying out for help? Tell the people to move forward. Look, go closer to the water and then lift up your walking stick and hold it out over the sea, and the water will divide, and the Israelites will be able to walk through the sea on dry ground, and I will make the Egyptians so stubborn that they will go in after them, and I will gain honor by my victory over the king, his army, his chariots, and his drivers. And when I defeat them, the Egyptians will know that I'm Yahweh. See, Moses knew in detail what was about to happen. So it says, now check this out. Hold on, let me jump down real quick. Yep. So check this out. We're going to read this whole account. And this way Yahushua come into play. See, people don't think Yahushua was there back then. But who was that angel in that pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. It was Yahushua, man. And yeah, look, Yahushua was the one who made those Egyptians' wheels pop off as they was riding through the Red Sea. Let's read it. Exodus 14 and 19. And the angel of the Lord, right? The angel of the Most High, which is Yahushua, who had been in front of the army of Israel in a chariot, it says he moved and went to the rear. So as Pharaoh was coming, Yahushua was in his chariot. He stopped being in front of us and he went in the middle of the Egyptians come and get us and us. And it says the pillar of cloud was also moved until it was between the Egyptians and the Israelites. Now, mind you, at this time, it's about to get dark. So it says the cloud made it dark for the Egyptians, but gave light to the people of Israel. And so the armies could not come near each other all night. It says, and Moses held out his hand over the sea, and the Lord drove the sea back with a strong east wind, and it blew all night and turned the sea into the dry land. It says, and the waters also divided, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with walls of water on both sides. It says in the so look, that's like that was the first aquarium. That's the first aquarium right there. It says, so look, they walked through. Think about that sight. Like, how was that? You got a light shining down so you could see. So could you see in the water? Like how was that? Nothing probably dripped on them, and they wouldn't worry about the water about to fall back down. They said there was a wall unto them, and I forget why I read this at, but I believe it's in a blue letter somewhere. But it said that the water became congealed. Let me look it up. Congealed. I forget where I seen that at, and it's like Jello. You see, congealed. I forget where I seen that at though. I think it's in a blue letter maybe, but I ain't gonna get it. It says, and the Israelites, verse 22, and the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground with the walls of waters on both sides. And the Egyptians pursued them and went after them into the sea, just like the Lord told Moses what was going to happen, and all their horses and chariots and drivers. And just before dawn, check this out. Watch what Yahushua go do. And just before dawn, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and the cloud. So Yahushua looked down through the chariot. Hey, it's funny. It says, and just before dawn, the Lord looked down from the pillar of fire and cloud at the Egyptian army and threw them into a panic. He made the wheels of their chariots get stuck so that they moved with great difficulty. I'm gonna read the KJV. It says Yahushua popped their wheels off. Right. So look, they following Israel through the water, and Yahushua looking at them through the chariot. And this is what he did. It says, because remember, it said the angel of the Lord did this as he was in a chariot. It says, right, verse 24, and it came to pass that in the morning watch, the Lord looked upon a host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud and troubled the host of the Egyptians, verse 25, and took off their chariot wheels that drave them so heavily, so that the Egyptians said, and you know what's spiritual? It's a dude named Ron Wyatt. His name Ron Wyatt, and he did a lot of documentaries on biblical sites like Sodom and Gomorrah. He went to the Gulf of Suez to check and see if it was chariot wheels. Let me see if I can show y'all this. And one thing he seen was chariot wheels. Exodus, chariot wheels. And he found them. Why? Because now we reading Yahushua had them pop off. Look, Ron Wyatt, he went search, I don't know if excavation or word I'm looking for, but he found things like this at the bottom of the as they call it, the Red Sea, but the Gulf of Suez. You see, he found things like that. I know this one of his. You see the chariot wheel right there. It got the wheel on the top. They got the bar that run through, and the other wheel on the other side. Look, another one. Yeah. So we reading it. Yahushua did that. Yahushua popped those wheels off. The point is, Moses knew all this. I know I'm reading the whole account, but I just want to paint the picture. Moses knew all this, man. Look at that. Yeah, the Lord did that. Popped them wheels off. Had them ghost riding the whip. It says, and took off their chariot wheels, and they drave them so heavily so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians and upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared. And that's cold. When the morning appeared, it says, because just like us, Yahushua, according to prophecy, won't know the time and the date, right? But he gonna come in the daytime. If it says that the sun ain't gonna give his light so Yahushua probably gonna come in the daytime, and it wouldn't surprise me being a day star. He gonna come early in the morning. When you go to a lot of other destructions that the Lord did in history, Sodom and Gomorrah, though that fire fell on that as soon as the sun was risen in the morning. Right here, we was out finally escaped from the Egyptians early in the morning. A lot of things the Lord did early in the morning brought destruction early in the morning. It says, and the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. And there remained not such one of them, but the children of Israel walked upon a dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on the left. And thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hands of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And Israel saw that great work which Yahweh did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord and believed Yahweh and his servant Moses, man. But the point was, you seen how those people reacted when they didn't know. They gave up on Moses that quick, turned their back on Moses that quick, started talking shit that quick. They lost faith, and fear struck them because they seen the Egyptian army coming. But the point was, why was Moses so cool, calm, and collected through all this? He said, be still. Let's read that one more time, and I'm going to get supporting precepts on after this. But this is what Moses said, even after seeing the Egyptians coming. He said, and Moses said to the people, verse 13, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of Yahweh, which he will show you today. For the Egyptians whom you have seen today, you shall see them no more again. For the Lord Yahweh shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. Y'all gonna be quiet. This man talking to a multitude of people who mad at him right now. Why was he so cool, calm, and collected? Because the Lord told him what was about to happen before it happened. And I'm gonna get this, because Apostle Peter, which is Moses, he told us, think it not strange when we go through these things. Why? Because we was told ahead of time. 2 Peter 2. Is it 2 Peter? I think it's 1 Peter. I'm gonna get a couple of supporting precepts, and we can, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to read that account. I read that earlier. Let's see, think it not strange. This is 1 Peter chapter 4. I was thinking chapter 2, but this 1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 12. 1 Peter 4 and 12, it says, beloved, which is the house of David. Beloved, think it not strange. Let's see what strange means. Strange in the blue letter is G35 79 Zenizo. It says strange, right? To be shocked, the thing strange, you don't got nothing really. Strangeness, to be surprised or astonished, right? So the things about to happen, we shouldn't be caught off guard like the other people, and it's going to tell us why. It says, 1 Peter 4 and 12, beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trials, which is to try you, as though some strange things happen unto you, but rejoice in as much as you are partakers of Mashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, ye may be glad also with exceeding joy. But the point is, we shouldn't be thinking it's strange as we get closer to the end, because the Lord told us this ahead of time. Like it said in 2 Ezra 16 and verse around 38, the Lord said, hear my word first. 38 leading to verse 40, it says, hear my word, which is get the understanding, understand the Lord will, see what's about to happen in the earth, and then it says next, and make you ready to the battle. So after we find out the Lord will, now it's time to prepare ourselves. See, the world not preparing themselves, or should I say the Israelites out here not preparing themselves for strange times to come, for the enemy to come in like a flood, for calamities and adversities to touch them. They're not preparing for it or preparing their mind for it. Therefore, when they come, they're going to be shaken up. They're going to call on Jesus. They're going to run to the government. You see? They go do anything they can to survive, not regarding the faith and fear of the Lord. But see, when hard times come for us, it might be a strange event, but we gonna have some type of comfort in it because we was already told and knew strange events was about to take place. We already know we coming into a time like never before. We already expect to see Leviathan pop out. We already expect to see Esau coming in like a flood in concentration camps, a famine, so on and so forth. So we shouldn't respond like these people, just like Moses ain't respond like the other people. Imagine if Moses would have did the same thing. Imagine if when they came to Moses, man, we about to die. Moses would have said, "Oh my God, we about to die. We about to die, y'all." He threw the staff and said, "Here, you lead. I'm scared." Think about the other people reaction then. Everybody would have lost it. Some people probably would have started trying to swim in the water to the other side. People try to run to the left, run to the right in the wilderness. Some people would have tried to run and meet Pharaoh and bow down and say, "Look, man, we sorry, man." Think about that. But because Moses knew the Lord will, he comforted them niggas, man. And told them, shut up and wait on the Lord to show y'all his power. But that's the same thing for us. We shouldn't think. Now, again, it's going to look and feel strange because it's going to be a time like never before. So we will be or might be taken back at some of the things we see, but not like the people that just wholehearted just lose faith, man. You see? Matter of fact, let me get this. This is Isaiah 33. This is Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times." When you go into the word stability, it goes into the Hebrew word amawana. And the Greek, not the Greek, but the root word for that word amawana is amawan, which is faith. So wisdom and knowledge, the things that we've been studying, learning from the apostles and elders, right? Researching ourselves, going out to the highways and prophesying and pushing, shall be the stability of thy times. The things we know gonna keep us stable when the times to come. What the Lord revealed to us, that's gonna keep us stable. Or what we have faith in, that's gonna keep us stable in the time to come. Just like Moses was. He knew what was about to happen. It says, "In the strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure," man. Let me get one more. It's Sirach 22. I like this one right here. I'm gonna read this in the GNT. This Sirach 22 in the GNT. Check this out. This is a good one. Sirach 22 and verse 16 in the GNT. It says, "A wooden beam can be put into a building so firmly that an earthquake cannot shake it loose." Let's stop right there and explain that. And you know how some buildings are made for certain conditions, right? So you have certain metals or beams that may be put into a building. For example, because like I work in lighting, right? Lighting. So you see poles on the street, light poles with the lights. Certain poles, you just can't put any pole out there as a street light. Certain poles got to be made for certain regions and certain conditions. It got to pass a wind rating. Because what if the wind too hard in that condition and you got a pole that's not thick enough? It's going to blow over. So therefore, different regions need specific requirements in order for the building or whatever it is to pass the test. So the Lord, he's giving an example right here. He painting a picture. Because when we get to the second half of this verse, we're going to see why he painted that picture. It says, let's read it again. Sirach 22 and 16. "A wooden beam can be put into a building so firmly that an earthquake cannot shake it loose." Why? Because it was made just for that, what's the word I want? Environment. It was made for that environment, right? So they put the proper beam into a building so that when an earthquake comes, the earthquake won't shake the building because it got the proper beam that's going to keep this thing stable. Why did the Lord make that use that analogy? Let's read on. Sirach 22 and 16 in the GNT. A wooden beam can be put into a building so firmly that an earthquake cannot shake it loose, right? So in the same way it says, "And a person can be trained to use reason and good sense so well that he keeps his head when a crisis comes." We have to read this again. It says a person can be trained to use reason and good sense so well. Isaiah 33 and 6. What we've been taught, and applying in our life. The Lord been making us hard, go through certain things, to use proper reasoning. Again, in the time we coming in, people ain't gonna use reasoning. Their mind ain't gonna be on point. That's what it says, 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter. That when that when the word is gone and the people won't be able to find a word, it says unrighteousness, and incontinency, which is a lack of self-control, will be multiplied in the earth, and people will lose their wit. Ain't nobody gonna be thinking right in that day. People gonna be moving off emotions. People gonna be moving off the flesh because they hungry. The elect will be the only ones moving off the spirit and thinking before they do things, even in a time like never before. Why? Because they were prepared for the situation. They was told what's to come. And not just that, they know what to look for. And they gonna be looking forward to the Lord handling the situation and not themselves, like everybody else go be looking to try to get themselves out of a situation. We gonna be looking for Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai to bring that divine intervention and that spiritual power to get us out of situations. But for example, a person can be trained to use reason and good sense so well that he keeps his head when a crisis comes. Think about a famine. When a famine comes, you're gonna have people who just run a FEMA, right? Run a Red Cross, run to the concentration camps to get some food from the government because they didn't use reason. But us, Lord willing, we should be like, well, okay, the scriptures say that if you run to these people, you could be trodden underfoot. They go throw you in the camp. They go try, might try to, chip you or whatever it may be. Hey, Yahushua said, when you see the troops run, so we gonna consider those things. When the enemy come like a flood, we gonna consider those things. So we ain't gonna go around no troops. We gonna go around and look for help from the government. In other words, the scriptures should come to mind. That's what's gonna happen. The scriptures should come to mind. If you see a multitude running this way, what you should think? Let me go this way then. If everybody running this way, these bunch of Americans running this way, let me go this way. Let me go the opposite way. You see, because these people don't know where they're going and what they're doing. The point is, scripture's gonna come to mind in these times, man. That's why we're gonna be stable. Let's read this one more time. Sirach 22:16. A wooden beam can be put into a building so firmly that an earthquake cannot shake it loose. A person can be trained to use reason and good sense so well that he keeps his head when a crisis comes, man. And this matter of fact, let me get one more. This remind me of what Yahushua said when he told them about 70 AD, but it still stands for us now. This is Luke 21. And I'm going to start at 17, right? Luke 21:17, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. And we coming down to that too. We can't forget. They go demonize this truth before we get out of here, right? So at this time that pressure is coming on the body, that pressure about to come on certain believers, hard times about to come. Yahushua gonna say this, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not an hair of your head perish. And in your patience was patience, suffering, as the Apostle Gabahi often mentioned, suffering. So in other words, Yahushua says, in our suffering, possess ye your souls, man. So when we go through hard times, calamity, when we do suffer, the Lord told us to rule our spirit during that time. Don't lose it. Like these people gonna lose it. Control ourselves, in other words. Don't just give up and bug out and say, F it. Let me go get some help from Red Cross. No, the Lord said, he said to us, in your patience, possess your souls. As we suffering, control our spirit, rule ourselves, man. Gather ourselves and think. Think about the scriptures. That's why it says use reason and good sense. Not just bug out and say, what's going on? Why God? And a full-blown, you just turned into a full-blown American in Jacob's trouble. After all this time believing, you just turned into a full-blown American. Looking for help from the government. No, rule of spirit and trust in the Lord, man. And now when we go back to, we ain't gonna go back to it because we finished. That's all I had. But when we go back to Exodus 14, you see the ones in their suffering, they didn't possess their souls. They started speaking things that was offensive. That could have been offensive to the Lord. On how he set Moses up, and you coming at Moses saying, see, man, you brought us out of here to die. You tripping. And Moses said, man, calm your asses down. The Lord about to work a good work. Just stand back and stay still, and you're going to see the power of the Lord. Be quiet. And guess what the Lord did? Just what Moses told him. And after it was said and done, it said that the people ain't just fear of the Lord, they was in fear of Moses too. So we about to see that, man. These people go bug out because they don't know what's about to happen or what's going on. We should have some type of comfort knowing the will of the Lord, man. Even if we get put in an unfortunate situation. Let me see what brothers got. Shalom Tala Akim Akwatu may be tuning in as well. Yahabashim Shah Brakatham. The brother Azma Wath, Jude 1 and 5 in the NLT, it says, so I want to remind you, though you already know these things, that Yahweh Shah first rescued the nation of Israel from Egypt. See, that was the one in that chariot. It says, but later he destroyed those who did not remain faithful. He killed them niggas who was complaining and just brought their children into the land with Joshua and Caleb. You see? Psalms 30 and 5, for his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor is life, and weeping may endure for a night. But so like it, brother. Hey, this is the precept that Kamala Harris this is the precept that Kamala Harris quoted. But joy cometh in the morning. Let me see. Joy cometh in the morning. Where's that Kamala? When she was speaking to that black church, trying to sound black. Let me play this. In her new accent, we're gonna let her read this verse, brother. Let's see.
And I have faith he is going to carry us forward, and the road ahead won't be easy. It will require perseverance and hard.
Why she trying to sound like Martin Luther King? But let's look. She gonna read the precept for Ozma Watts right here. Psalms 30 and 5. I'm the reader, she the speaker. This Psalm chapter 30 and verse 5.
Scripture reminds us weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning.
That's a lie. I just had to. That was a little folly moment. Psalms 30 and 5. For his anger endureth but a moment. In his favor is life. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Right? That's right, man. It's like a little folly moment. Zephaniah 3 and 5. The just Lord is in the the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He would not do iniquity. Every morning doeth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust know of no shame. You see, the Lord brings judgments, but our people don't get it. They don't see it. They don't see it, man. You know, the Lord do things for Jake and they don't see it. So that's why they're going to have to be judged with these people. You know, Jake don't change. After seeing all that, look, first, after seeing all the 10, because see, now I see why the Lord killed them niggas, man. After seeing all the 10 plagues on what the Lord did for you, the Passover, how he brought you out and didn't kill none of your firstborn. You seen the chariot, you seen you seen the chariot, cloud by day, fire by night, leading you, and you still said, man, why you bring us out here, Moses? Man, that's some unfaithful niggas who needed to die, man. The Lord showed you his power and you still ain't believe. Psalms 25, we will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our power, we will set up our banners. The Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, fulfill all thy petitions. And the Lord will do everything he told us. Psalms 3, 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. And in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. In other words, in everything we go through, consider the will of the Lord. Or, you know, they say WWJD, what would Jesus do? We got a WWYD sometimes. What would Yahweh Shai do in this situation? You see? Consider the Lord. Hey, sometimes when we out in the world and we may think something or, you know, about to do something that fear the Lord may kick him. I ain't about to do that shit. Tripping. You see? Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not unto thy own understanding. And a lot of people will lean into their own understanding in the times to come. Why? Because they don't know the will of the Lord. So what else they go lean on? Besides what the government taught them and told them. See, they don't know the will of the Lord, man. That's something that we was given. The Wadi Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17 and verse 12. Fear is nothing but the failure to use the help. Fear is nothing but the failure to use the help that reason gives. Come on, man. That's heavy. It says, when you lack confidence to rely on reason, you give into fears caused by ignorance. So when you don't take time and think when you're in a situation, you just do anything because one, you fear, or that ancient spirit. You got to get yourself out. I don't know what to do. Let me do something. Instead of being patient and wait on the Lord. That's what Moses did. He was like, he told them niggas, man, stay still and shut up. Be still. He told them, be still. He told them, be patient. Calm down. And watch what the Lord do. He used reason. Think about it. He was like, but the Lord ain't about to bring us all the way out here. Look, the Lord ain't destroy Egypt, send 10 plagues, kill a firstborn just to bring us out and kill us too. Man, calm down. Just like today, the Lord ain't allowing this great awakening to happen, giving us all this knowledge, exposing Esau, allowing the MOTB to be fulfilled, about to bring plagues to this world, all for the elect, not to, for the elect to be destroyed in this time too. No, the Lord doing all these things for a reason, man. Not just for the believers to lose in the end with everybody else. No. These things not just happening just because. So therefore, for example, even if you get thrown into a concentration camp, our mind shouldn't be like the people of the world and think we just asked out in a concentration camp. We should consider things, okay, well, if the Lord let them grab me up, if they grab me up, you can't say, well, shit, I ain't of the elect, because the scriptures say when a standard was going to come, the enemy was going to come, the Lord was going to lift up a standard. Well, I ain't get spiritual power, so fuck it then. I guess I ain't of the elect. No. How you know the Lord ain't let you get grabbed up so you could be taken to a concentration camp? Now, as many reasons the Lord could have did it. What if it have people in the concentration camp that's of the elect that you need to go teach, just like Paul and them in jail, and people repented? Or how you know the Lord want to take you to a concentration camp, because there he gonna have you get spiritual power and save others that might be there. See, it's many outcomes that the Lord can have happen. We just can't see the situation in front of us and think that's it. No, man, it's many ways the Lord could do things, but that's using reasoning. Just consider, or another word is logic. Things that can actually happen right now. But you know what? In a time like never before, things that can actually, let me see. The things that the Lord will be doing go seem so far-fetched than a belief and reality in these people's minds. So reason and logic is going to be out the door, because in order for you to endure in the times to come, unexpected things, unbelievable things going to have to happen for you. The point is, the only people who believe in the unexpected, far out things that don't seem real, are the elect. These the only person who will be people who will be in that time and actually have a spiritual power is part of their reasoning. Divine intervention is part of their decision making. You see, trusting in the Lord is part of the direction they're going. Only the elect will sit down and take time and think about those things in a time like never before. Why? Because we've been told and practicing and being trained for hard times now. That's why the Lord put us through all these things now as believers. It ain't just because you want to whoop our ass and chastise us. No, he making us hard. You see? So when hard times come, we are adapting to that environment, just like that wooden beam. He adapted to them earthquakes, so it didn't shake loose. So the Lord put us in situations, like it says, Sirach 22:16, so we can use reason and good sense and keep our mind when a crisis comes, man. It says, when you lack the confidence to rely on reason, you give into fears caused by ignorance. You just doing shit. Isaiah 26:3, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. That's right. 2 Timothy 1:7, for the Most High have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. And one of the most important ones in that verse is a sound mind. Proverbs 4:23, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. And I ended on this one. Is Proverbs 16:3, commit thy works unto the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and this is a bad one. I'm gonna start using this one with the water. It says, commit thy works unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and thy thoughts shall be established. Serve the Lord, and guess what? In truth and sincerity, and that should keep a lot of BS out of our mind. Doubt, that should keep doubt out of our mind, right? Fear and being scared out of our mind. Because the more we serve the Lord day in and day out, I know me and brother Osman Waf, twin. That's what, we kind of been talking about the last couple of days, being acquainted with the Lord. Who are the ones who have a true intimate relationship with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai? If you talking to the Lord daily, calling on him daily, serving him daily, it's going to be hard to lose, your love for this truth. It's going to be hard to get bored in this truth. And it's going to be hard to lose fear if you building a, or should I say, it's going to be hard to not have faith in somebody when you building that trust with them daily, man. That's what's going on now. So when Jacob's trouble come, we have somebody to rely on. You see? But that's pretty much it. Brother's laughing at the Kamala Harris video, huh? That brother said the MLK tone is the 2/3 frequency of right of acceptance, right? That's that church pastor tone, right? That and and that joy. I hate that shit, man. But the brother said it was a custom for kings to do judgment in the morning. That's it. So it wouldn't surprise me if Yahweh Shai make his appearance early in the morning, during Jacob's trouble, during World War III, and not as in the evening. Remember, it said he was going to bring darkness to the daytime, so it's going to have to be the daytime when he come. But I'm in it right there, man. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. The water icon for the Yahpa precepts. But again, just keep that in mind. Knowing the will of the Lord will keep us stable during adversity, during hard times. And we got that account in Exodus, the 14th chapter. The difference between Moses and the difference between all the other Israelites when we left out of Egypt. Moses was told by the Lord before it happened that, look, Pharaoh will come try to chase y'all because he think y'all stuck in the wilderness, but I'm going to destroy them. See, the Israelites, all the other Israelites ain't know that. Therefore, when they seen Pharaoh, they started bugging out. They got scared, talking shit against Moses, doubting, talking about you should have left us slaves in Egypt, man. They lost it. Think about if Pharaoh would have came up to them, they probably would have gave Moses up. But Moses told him, man, calm your ass down, stay still. The Lord about to work for y'all. These Egyptians y'all see now, y'all ain't gonna see them no more. Stay still and watch the Lord work. That man was cool, calm, and collected. Why? Because he knew the will of the Lord and he knew what to expect. That's the same for us today. You see? But I'm in it right now, man. Hey, keep fighting, keep pushing. With that, I want to give all praise and glory once again unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Chakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to you out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as to you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And I know I just said it, but I'm going to say it again. And as always, keep fighting, keep pushing. We're almost out of here. Shalom.